From one neighbor to another, WCTE PBS is here for you. Coming up next is Live at 5 on WCTE PBS and its streaming platforms to provide updates on communities throughout Central Tennessee.
Hello, welcome to today's episode of Live at 5 on WCTE PBS. I'm your host today, Tiffany McDonald. I'm the Manager of Corporate Relations here at WCTE. And today, our first guest, I'm joined by my friend Kristie Philips from TTU. How are you, Kristie?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Awesome. Now, what do you do at Tech? She's with Tennessee Tech University, so we're going to talk about an event that's coming up next week.
My official title is Annual Giving and Stewardship Director for the Department of Athletics, but it's really kind of expanded into a lot of donor relations and alumni events, which is what this one ends up being.
Okay. What's the event that we have coming up next week?
We have the Dr. Diane Murphy Leaders for Life program. She is not only an alum, but she's also a donor, and she developed this program about 16 years ago to really help and benefit and mentor our female student athletes.
That's amazing. So now, Dr. Murphy is from Cookeville, right?
She is from Cookeville. She grew up here. Her dad had a shoe store here in town many years ago, and she went to Tennessee Tech. She played tennis and volleyball and basketball. She was on the inaugural varsity women's basketball team at the university. We just got through celebrating that anniversary and had a great turnout. So she is part of that group of women that is history making at Tech.
That's wonderful. Now, she also has another claim to fame that's a bit history-making as well, right?
She does. There's only been a handful of women who are female athletic directors of D1 institution, Division I in NCAA sports. And not just, there are a lot of schools that have an athletic men's director and a women's sports athletic director. Sure. She was athletic director for the entire athletic department at Columbia University and held that position until she retired about a year or so ago, or a couple of years ago, and was just as very well respected and renowned as in 5 or 6 halls of fame throughout the country. Yeah.
That's wonderful. So she has this great program. Mm-hmm. We also are going to have a speaker who is a local speaker this year, mm-hmm. right?
Yes.
It's. Can you tell us about Dr. Chastine Dunn?
So Dr. Chastine Dunn, Teresa, she was a college professor and actually taught at Roane State. And through that and through her work, she began to recognize, and the people that she worked with helped her recognize that there was a need for online learning. And so she put together a company, and through mentor and guidance, developed this company called Win Learning. And they are in, I think, all 50 states and multiple countries around the world, and just have a huge program. I think they did something like $100 million last year in their contracts and things, and really affecting lives with online education and online learning. And she did this back in 1996. So she was at the forefront of what is now a very common thing, remote learning, online learning. She was doing this back in 1996.
That's wonderful. So we have such a wonderful community of treasures here, especially at Tennessee Tech. So I think this would be an incredible event if you can make it. Again, it's next Tuesday. If you'll tell us how we can get more information on it, and then remind us when it is and where it is, that'd be wonderful.
It is Tuesday, April 5th at 7 p.m. in the Stonecipher Lecture Hall. Stonecipher Lecture Hall is part of that big, beautiful new science area that we have on campus now. We're very proud of. It's an absolutely gorgeous facility, and it'll be in the lecture hall in the Stonecipher building. Parking in the evening on campus is relatively easy, and it's open to the public, and it is free, and we invite anyone who wants to come out to join us. We've had several great speakers in the past, and we were very excited this year that Dr. Chastine Dunn decided to join us and accepted our invitation.
That's wonderful. It's going to be a great event. I hope you can make it. Put it on your calendar for next Tuesday. Kristie, thank you so much for joining us today. I've appreciated your time this afternoon. Again, if you can make it to the program on Tuesday, it's free to the public. Just park on campus and walk over to the new Stonecipher building. We'll be back after this break with my friends from Edgar Evins State Park and a very special guest in the wing.
Good morning, Moole High School.
So right now, the senior class is stressing over college apps.
Please begin.
I would love UC Berkeley.
Harvard, Stanford.
Columbia.
I guess you're just looking at the cream of the crop right here.
I work hard and I strive to be a nerd.
The pressure is insurmountable at times.
Oh my God!
It's the best.
My name is Donna Matson, Director of Human Resources and Business Operations with WCTE PBS. Did you know the broadcasting industry in Tennessee is thriving and offers exciting career opportunities? WCTE has immediate openings for your consideration. Benefits include health, dental, vision, life, retirement, sick time, vacation, holidays, and AFLAC. Visit WCTE.org. Come join our team.
I think I got interested mainly for my grandmother's side. She was a Huddleston that married a Bullock, and we used to visit her church growing up. And I've actually got her family Bible, which dates from the very first Huddleston that came here in 1811. There was 3 Huddleston brothers, and I come through David. I think it's important for you to know kind of where you belong and who you come from. And I keep learning, just through the years, you keep learning family history that it's interesting.
Hello and welcome back to today's episode of Live at 5 here on WCTE PBS. My name is Tiffany McDonald, and I'm here with my friends from Edgar Evins State Park today, and I'm super excited about it. We've got Park Manager Brad Halfacre and then Park Ranger Lee Chadwell, as well as our buddy Bentley, who is a little bit camera shy today. He's hanging out over here in the green room since he didn't want to be on camera, but he's a hawk from your Birds of Prey display at Edgar Evins?
Yes,
what kind of hawk?
He is a red-shouldered hawk from our aviary, and I'll let Lee kind of talk a little bit about our aviary that we have it here at Edgar Evins.
So we have aviary. Right now we're housing 2 birds. Our aviary is set up for educational birds. That's what our permits allow for. So they are birds that cannot be released back into the wild. So they're birds that we have to take care of and feed and give medical attention to throughout the rest of their life. Lots of different parks, not every park, but quite a few of them have birds of prey as well. And so we take them around, do educational programs at the schools, or we'll do programs at the park to introduce and kind of let people get up a little closer and be able to see them than you would in the wild.
That's great.
And give lots of little facts and information about them as well.
I love it. Education is key in everything, right? So who are our current residents at Edgar Evins?
We have Bentley, who is a red-shouldered hawk. Mm-hmm. He came to us very young, so we know that he's about 3.5, 4 years of age. And he's one of our common hawks that you'll see here in Tennessee, and actually you'll hear a lot too. They live on the east side of the Mississippi from Maine all the way to Florida. Oh, wow. And their common call is a keer, keer, keer. Mm-hmm. And so you'll hear that quite often. I hear it in the neighborhood just outside of town, mm-hmm. Especially anywhere that's wooded with water sources, ponds, lakes, rivers. They really love that kind of environment.
Awesome.
Our other bird is Hoodwink. He's everybody loves owls, and he's a barred owl. He's one of our common owls around here. A lot of times they're probably the most common that's heard.
Okay.
I'm going to try to do the call with my hands real quick.
Oh, okay. Wow, he nailed it, huh?
Kind of who cooks for you, who cooks for you all, mm-hmm. or the And so this time of the year is kind of like their breeding season from now until about August.
Okay.
So if you're out at night, you'll probably hear some, and if you hear one, you might hear another one call, or if you can do a call and get one to call, you might get 3 or 4 starting to cackle back and forth, and then just kind of lights up the woods, and it's a great sound to hear at night.
It is. Actually, you sound exactly like the ones in my yard. I've got woods beside my house, so I hear them at nighttime, especially right now. Oh, I hear Bentley in there. He wants to come say hello now. That's great. So you guys, it's free of charge. You can drive into the park and see the birds that are in the aviary anytime the park is open. Is that right?
Yes. They're, the aviary sits right next to our interpretive center, which is actually right across from our storybook trail.
Okay.
That's kind of at the end of the park, right near the peninsula. So.
Oh, okay, great. And it's anytime park hours are open. You can.
Correct.
Okay.
So that'll be from 6 to 10.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for telling us about the hawk and the owl babies. I can't wait to go myself. They've already recruited me to come and clean the pens. And I said yes, because of course I would. Also, Brad, he's got some super fun events at Edgar Evins coming up. So why don't you tell us about what you've got coming up next week or next month?
Spring is in the air. You know, Edgar Evins is one of the best parks in the Upper Cumberland to come view the wildflowers. The Highland Rim Nature Trail there at the park office is one of the most beautiful trails to hike this time of year. And then we try to celebrate that. We have an event called the Celebration of Spring. It's going to be April 16th. It's going to be located at our Boat Ramp 1 area. And they'll have boat rides leaving out about every 30 minutes there from Ramp 1, kind of taking little visits around the lake. Also, we're going to have an Easter egg hunt from 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. will be the ages 1 through 4. And then at 11 a.m. we have Bob Tarter with Animology. So if you love animals, Bob gets aggravated sometimes when I call him the animal guy. He's so much more than just the animal guy, but everybody's like, he's the animal guy. But Bob and his NHECM Animology puts on a outstanding show. He brings different animals, reptiles, things like that, and he's a big hit, always has been with us. And then at 12 p.m., the older kids, 5 to 12 egg hunt will take place. And then he's going to have various guests. Our friends with TWRA is going to be bringing their wildlife trailer. And then we'll have some DeKalb County Chamber of Commerce and Putnam County Chamber of Commerce out there as well. So it's a fun event for the whole family. And that's going to be Saturday, April 16th from 9 to 2 at Boat Ramp 1.
Awesome. Do we need to make reservations?
For the boat rides, you can get online. Go to our website, and if you don't have the app, you need to download that. It's TN State Parks. Just go to your app store and just look up TN State Parks and download that app, and that gives you access to all, not just Edgar Evins. We love you to come to Edgar Evins, but there's also 56 other parks in our great park system that we'd like for you to visit. And being here in the Upper Cumberland, we're blessed with state parks. We're 30, you're 30 minutes. We're a geographical oddity. We're 30 minutes from everywhere. That's what I tell folks. So we've got our friends, our brothers over at Burgess and Cummins, those parks as well. You can access all that from the app. But get on the website, just look up Edgar Evins, and you can register for the boat rides on the website there.
Awesome.
We also have a lot going on. Camping, cabins. We just had a project. It's fixing to start here. We're upgrading our cabin bathroom, so this will almost finish our project up. So if you haven't stayed in our cabins in years or quite a while, I see folks out all the time. So we used to stay up there all the time. I said, we need to come back and see us as we're changing. We're making big changes. So updating our cabins, making them more modern, more user-friendly. So if you haven't stayed with us there in a while, come on back. And like I said, it's hiking season. And we can't stress enough as rangers, some of our day is spent sometimes looking for lost hikers. So one of the best, easiest things you can do is prepare yourself, whether you're going to be hiking a trail at Edgar Evins or even Cummins or any of our state parks. Just make a plan. We don't go to the grocery store without making a list. So we need to do the same thing when we're going out on a hike, whether it's an hour-long hike or a whole day adventure. Simple things like packing water, a small day pack with some water and snacks. You never know if you trip and fall and hurt your ankle, things like that. You could be out there a little while before we find you.
You could. I'm an avid hiker myself, so I'm all over the Upper Cumberland, and I'm super spoiled here, but I can't tell you how many times I've tripped over a root, or I've walked on a flat trail and there is one gravel in the middle of it, and I will I can climb up this side of those boulders, but I'll hit a gravel or a root, roll my ankle, and I've had ace bandages as always in my backpack with an ice pack that you can break open. Ibuprofen is always good, and then we had a lady that we helped at Window Cliffs once. Her foot was on the side of her ankle because she had slid down. So just it's beautiful here. The hikes, especially at Edgar Evins, the trails are well maintained, but you never know what's going to happen. So it's really important to pack your day packs.
Yes, and tell somebody where you're going. If you're not hiking with a buddy, let somebody know. If it's your mama or your grandma or dad or significant other or spouse, let them know where you're going and where you're going to be hiking and what trail you're going to be on. That way, we kind of know
There are also apps that will track and send GPS coordinates. So All Trails is what I use. I'm not plugging that. I'm just saying that's personally as a hiker what I use, because I can send that to someone even when I don't have cell service.
Right.
The satellites will track my trail and send it to whoever I've tethered on there. So that's super important, I think, as well.
It gets us in the general area. And you know, I always tell folks a simple little whistle in their pack. If they're hurt, if they can blow the whistle, and that's, you know, we're trained to listen for things like that. And,
bear bells are great too.
Yes, exactly right. So just always be, you know, just be prepared. Prepare yourself. You know, when we had the March tornadoes, and that just really opened my eyes of being prepared at home. You know, for being with the power outage for many days or things like that. So that's kind of, I worked on my master's on that very point of being prepared. So I can't stress that enough.
That's wonderful. So also in the vein of being prepared, and when we're out on a trail, even if we're just a mile from the visitor center, we also have abundant wildlife here in Middle Tennessee. So tell our viewers, what might we expect to visit us on a trail when we're out for the day?
You'll see some deer, squirrels, abundance of squirrels, chipmunks, things like that, snakes.
Snakes are our friends.
We have a lot of people, you know, of course, it's that time of year, you know, snakes will be coming out. You know, in Tennessee, we've got 32 different types of snakes, and
but
of
only
those,
4 are venomous.
Only 4 are venomous, and then here in the Upper Cumberland area, we really only have to worry about 2, the copperhead and rattlesnake, which are both pit vipers. But with that being said, you want to watch where you're walking. Again, being prepared. You don't want to wear flip-flops or open-toed sandals or something, because 9 times out of 10 people step on these guys, and if you stepped on me, I would bite you too. Not meaning to, you know, but that's just their only defense. And you know, there's some statistics out there that say so many percentage of the bites are dry bites. I don't want to find that out myself, but if you do encounter a snake and you do happen to get bit, the main thing is stay calm, notify somebody, a park ranger or EMS, so we can get that ball rolling. It's never a good idea to feed anything, the deer, the ducks, any type of wildlife. It's not, you know, bears, which we don't have an abundance of bears, but you definitely don't want to, raccoons, things like that, you don't want to feed them, because what that does is gets them relying on humans and gets them not afraid of humans. So which is why
Bentley is actually in the program. He can't hunt on his own.
He
right?
can't.
I can hear him.
Bentley can't hunt on his own. So.
Bless his heart. Thank you guys so much. We're going to be right back after this break with more information about the state parks and summer and springtime events. Stay tuned.
WCTE's Great TV Auction is May 31st through June 12th. All of the behind-the-scenes action is underway, and we need your help. Join in on all the fun by becoming a donation solicitor. For more information, please contact Miranda Maynard via email or call 931-528-2222.
Genealogy is the study of ancestors who you usually came from, your mom, parents, your dad's parents, and further back and as far as you can go. Online is Ancestry.com. MyHeritage is another one. There's a whole lot of information on the internet that you start digging for and you'll find it. And a lot of resources at your state libraries and at your local libraries. The resources that I started using was before the internet, and that was the library. The library was the most important resource. A lot of people forget about it nowadays and just do the internet searches, but there's so much more information at the library that's undiscovered. It'd be well worth your time, if you're interested in doing genealogy, to go to the libraries, local libraries and the state libraries, especially state libraries. My grandmother, when I was a kid, she got me next to her and opened up a chest, and she pulled out this letter of my great-great-grandfather who fought in the Civil War, and he had written a whole series of letters to his wife, and I was young at the time and wasn't really interested, but it stayed in the back of my mind for several years, and later on I decided that I would like to know more about my grandfather, my great-grandfather. He was in the war with his brother, and his brother was killed at Battle of Chickamauga. He was captured in a battle and went to prison and died in Northern Prisoner of War camp. And so it's a really interesting historical study. You find out how atrocious that both Southern and Northern prisoner of war camps were. You get to know your grandfather, you develop a personal interest in that person. I think that's a very valuable thing to go through life with. I continually look for historical records, any genealogical information on my family history. I find it fascinating, and it gives me a link to who my family really is.
The American identity begins when Benjamin Franklin knit the American colonies together.
Franklin is endlessly interesting.
Printer, scientist, revolutionary.
He is the only founding father who evidently had a sense of humor.
His vision is broader than the American Revolution.
The things that he spoke of, that he wrote about, had a certain amount of power.
He really was an American genius.
Benjamin Franklin, only on PBS.
Here's what's new this month with Passport.
I'm a really good detective. I always get to the truth. Let's see how this plays out.
Shaped by land, but sustained by their connection to us. These are American horses.
What's happening in the Arctic could really affect everyone.
It is literally sinking.
These and all your favorite shows are available with Passport on the PBS app. Download it today.
Living Minute, a look at the latest medical innovations changing our lives. Brought to you by Thermo Fisher Scientific's coronavirus testing program for schools and the Health Channel.
Many people struggle with their mental health, but because of the pandemic and the stigma surrounding mental illness, they have not sought help. But a growing number are getting therapy online.
You could have the therapy, you could have the treatment in the comfort of your own home.
Telehealth allows patients to speak with a therapist by computer, tablet, or smartphone. Last year, 59% of Americans said they would use telehealth for mental health care, and that number is even higher for millennials and younger people at 66%.
They're used to using their cell phones, computers to communicate, and not having to travel to an office really helps with the access issue. So I think there's a lot of hope with that use of telehealth moving forward.
Welcome back to WCTE PBS. I'm Tiffany McDonald. I'm here with my friends from Edgar Evins State Park, Brad Halfacre, who's the park manager, and then Park Ranger Lee Chadwell. So we do have events that are coming up for summer as well, right?
We do, and all of them, you can find all these on our website, but one of our most popular ones is the week before Memorial Day, the Western Wallflower Cruise. Folks can get on a pontoon boat. The only way to really see this, the Western Wallflower grows on the banks of the bluffs there at Center Hill Lake, and there's only certain places that they're found in there. And so, depending on the year, this year should be a good bloom. Ranger Mark Taylor and naturalist Holly Taylor with our State Park SIR system, or she's assistant state naturalist or assistant to the state naturalist. She leads a lot of hikes for us and everything. Holly Taylor, which is Mark's wife, they team up and do an excellent job on this tour.
Awesome.
But you can find that, and we'll be doing boat rides. Our sunset cruises are very popular. Lee will be leading several of those, and Ranger Vaughn. So just keep a check on our website. If you're planning to make a visit, we try to update that with our programs pretty regularly.
And the website you are referring to is Tennessee State Parks?
Yes, Tennessee. Just look up Tennessee State Parks, find a park, go to Edgar Evins.
Perfect. So what do you do on, you drive the boat, is that right, on the Wallflower tour?
Yes. We'll take about, like on a sunset cruise, we'll take about a 2-hour trip.
Okay.
We'll cruise around to the dam and then to the creek, and I'm going to talk about the history of the park. And since I grew up in the area, I kind of talk about some personal experiences out there as well. and then we'll kind of cruise back. And as we're cruising back, it's the perfect place to see the sunset over the water. And then we'll just enjoy the ride back in. So it makes for a great night. And then the restaurant's usually open, so you could always eat at the restaurant.
The restaurant
in the park
is so
as well.
good. It's so good. Does it still have little turtles that will come up for food on the side?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I will say I haven't really been a lot of places, since COVID. It's time to get back out there, though. But the last time we were out there, we made friends with all of our little turtle buddies. We didn't feed them anything that they didn't need, but they did come over, and they wanted to say hello, so that was really adorable.
Yeah, they love to say hi to everybody. And they do have I think it's 25 cents for the food that's made for the fish and the turtles right there, too.
Of course, we gave them that. So, maybe they could reserve a sunset cruise with you, make a whole day of it if they want to come hiking in the park. And you do have dog-friendly trails, right?
Yes, all of our trails are dog-friendly at Edgar Evins.
You can bring your buddy.
There's only a few parks in the whole state that are state parks that aren't dog-friendly, but most of them, while we'll have at least one trail that is. All of ours are. We just ask that everybody follows state law, keep their dogs on a leash, and to make sure you pick up and clean up after your dog. If you pack it in, take it out. Try to keep things as nice as when you get there, when you leave, because nobody really likes to hike a trail and see a little bag of stuff hanging in a tree.
No, not at all. And I mean, in order to keep our state parks in our state that we are super spoiled to have to enjoy here clean and, for generations to come, is to pack it out if you pack it in, right?
Yes.
There are trash receptacles throughout the park.
Yes, our campground is we've gone to that in the campground. We don't have any trash cans at the campsite itself, just to keep from critters and stuff to get in. We do have a dumpster site there, right. So it does help. Some of our guests don't really like it, but once we educate them on what we're doing, they stand behind what we're doing and help us out with that. So it's cut down on a lot of litter.
Absolutely. There. Now, I actually a couple of years ago, I guess, before COVID, I was involved in a cleanup. On the trail cleanup. So will you have a cleanup day this year?
Yes, we'll be having some volunteer work days. Keep checking on what we use Facebook and our website to promote that. We always have and the Corps also does a Center Hill Lake cleanup day as well.
Okay, that's wonderful. So also this summer, since spring is here, people are about to get outside more. We're going to go hiking. We're going to go to the lake. We've already covered a few tips of, hiking, and we should always be prepared. But what else would you say that is really important this season? Like knowing weather patterns, I know is really important, especially with come-ins. And if you're going to be at a waterfall or anywhere near the water, check upstream weather.
Check weather, check upstream weather. Cummins has got they've got some new things in order with the permit system, which is great. So that's a big help for them that they can limit their who goes down in the gorge. But yes, and that's whether you're hiking at Edgar Evins or Cummins, anything. You want to check the weather. You want to know what's going on there where you're at and around you. At all times, because there's nothing scarier even being on a boat.
Oh my goodness,
when a storm blows up, if you're not prepared, and so it can be almost like on the ocean in the perfect storm, not near as big, but the water white cap and thunder and lightning, it can be scary.
It can be.
So you want to prepare yourself.
I've done that a couple of times myself.
And life jackets, you want to bring, make sure you got life jackets in your boat. Children's 12 and under has to have one on all the time. And then adults, it's good if you wear yours too. If we do a boat ride or a canoe trip, especially canoe trips, we got ours on the pontoon boat. We, if you're an adult, we don't make you wear it, but we have them for you there on the boat, and you can wear them if you choose to. But children have to have one on, 12 and under.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. You've been super informative, super helpful. I know that everybody watching is excited to go see our friend Bentley and his buddy in the aviary. Again, keep a check on the website, Tennessee State Parks. Also, download the app so you can stay on top of all of the news for what we've got in our gorgeous state of Tennessee coming up for this spring and summer. And also, if you pack it in, pack it out.
That's right, and it's your park. It's not mine. It's not Lee's. It's your park. So come in. We want to see you come and enjoying your park, whether it's at Edgar Evins, whether it's Cummins, whether it's at Radnor Lake. We just want to see you out in our parks, out in the parks. They're here for you.
It's awesome. Thank you so much, Brad. Thank you, Lee.
You.
We'll see you guys soon.
Good.
We'll see you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in today. I'm Tiffany McDonald, WCTE PBS, and we'll see you next time.
Well, thank y'all.
From one neighbor to another, WCTE PBS is here for you. Join us back for the encore on Sunday at noon. A brand new show of Live at 5 will return at 5 p.m. next Thursday. Thank you for watching.